So the next few slides is a completely made up story, more targeted this time, if you've never done project management. And I think it will introduce you to project management from a different angle. What I found is in the project management methodologies, they tell you, yes, this is the 4 phases and the likes, and this is the purpose of each phase, but they don't tell you how they came to light and why created them to start with. Also, if you're a little bit familiar for project management, I recommend that you go through this. I don't think it's hard to watch. I think it's a little bit fun. There's some photos and some diagrams in it. So hopefully you'll enjoy them. And then, of course, as we progress through the course, you'll get the formal, by the book type of meaning of each one of those phases. Having said that, let's go into it straight away.
Welcome to this part of the course. Okay, so don't quote me on this, please. This is probably not accurate. But this is how I imagine, as a bit of a learning tool, how project management could have been born. So imagine there is a queen. She has leaders, but they're always focusing on their daily task, on the wars and stuff like that. But she still has large projects that she wants to implement. So the work is disorganized on those projects. Teams are tired. Money seems to be always running out. So she's saying, I have leaders, but that's not sufficient. I need someone really focusing on this. So we were about to witness the birth of project management. Issues: there's a large endeavor lacking coordination, monitoring, and a solution: provide a dedicated resource to manage methodically the work to completion. A project manager. I therefore make you project manager to the queen. Go and make sure things are running smoothly. Give me a call from time to time. So, thanks. I suggest that we catch up after it's all done to close things off and see if we can improve things for next time we do this. Okay, so we have a project manager already and we have our business owner. So let's see how it worked on the first project they had. First project, trial 1. The queen gave a project and the project manager was doing a lot of monitoring, was doing a lot of fixing, see what I mean, and communicating as well. And after the closure, so that's why I was mentioning before, let's catch up at the end of the project to check how things were going. And then the queen can have the benefits of a project. So at completion, the project manager reports back to the queen as agreed. What did he say? Okay, I think we can improve on this. I was not sure what I was monitoring against. When was this all due? I didn't know. How much money did I have? I was not even sure how much money I had. It would have helped if I knew some of the stuff that could happen beforehand. Like, nobody told me about this. Who was I supposed to communicate to? And how? The queen was too busy. She didn't return the call. And what was this project all about anyway? What was the plan? Okay, well, he's lucky. The queen is quite a nice person. Say, okay, I see your point. For our next project, let's take the time to sit down and plan on how we will communicate, how we will do things. Then we can progress when we all agree on a plan. So let's have a plan first. We agree on a plan and then we progress. Let's do this. Okay. So those are the tasks that the project manager was doing before, but now he's added a couple of more tasks. He added some planning, and then there was a plan approval. So how did that go? You think? Trial number 2, second project. Let's see. Took 2 months of planning, and after the plan is presented for approval to the queen. Okay, planning is finished. It will cost you 51.6 pounds of gold, and we should be able to complete it in 26 months. Also, on a side note, we might lose 51.3% of our army in the process. I mean, this is obviously precise for one reason there. You see where I'm getting at. So the Queen immediately said, well, all this was a waste. We don't have the money. We don't have these pounds of gold. And I can afford to wait 2 years because it's 26 months to finish, really, to see the benefits. It is not worth it. I wouldn't approve this project if I had at least a rough idea of the cost and how long it would take. And I'd been aware of that huge risk of losing half my army. So she was not aware of the risk, and she just heard about the incredibly high cost and how long the project was. And the worst part is they have spent 2 months, so 2 months paying the project manager and all this team to come up with something that she knew she didn't want. Surely there's a better way to do it. So now the project manager goes back to her and say, okay, I suggest we do a quick assessment this time. Not this 2 months planning, 3 months planning. We do a quick assessment and give you some basic information before starting planning on our projects. You know, we can give you the high level cost, timeframes, risk, who will participate. So this way you can decide if starting the project, planning even, is worthwhile. Okay, but I have to warn you, it won't be as precise, but at least you have an idea and you can make a decision. So let's see how it went. Final trial. So before there was planning, plan approval, monitoring, fixing, communication, closure. All that was already was happening. But what they have decided this time is to add 2 steps. So notice, this is not project anymore. It's just an idea or a need. Okay, it's not a project yet. It's just some discussion that happened. Yeah, why don't we do this? Or we absolutely need to do that. And there's an assessment. And then there is an action here. Is the project approved? So after a couple of weeks, not months, the assessment is completed as agreed. They said they'll do a quick assessment. Quick assessment completed. Cost you roughly £30. This is so just so that you can keep up. This is a final project. This is a third project, if you like. So this is why it's not £50 anymore. It's only for £30. It's a different project. It will cost you roughly £30 of gold, and we should be able to complete it in 6 months. No loss of army in the process. Would you like to go ahead? It's not a project yet. It's doing the assessment. And she said, yeah, I like this process much better. Now I have some key information before I give the go-ahead for potential projects. I realize it's not as detailed as during planning, but it is enough for me to approve or decline project proposals. Based on the information you gave me, we have a winner. Let's go ahead for this project. And notice, now we have a project. This, we don't want to call it project yet, because in the previous example there was just too long and the Queen decided we're not going to do it, so it's not a project. So anyway, yeah, okay. So now this is what we have. We have all these activities that happen, a project not being a project here, and all that project activities, and after the Queen can have the benefits. So what we can do is we can group those activities in what we call phases in project management. Because we realize that those 2 could be grouped, the blue ones there could be grouped in let's say we call it the initiation phase. The second part that we added, we called it the planning phase. So initiation, planning. So this is how it was at the beginning. So what we do for the other activities, we split them into 2 groups. We have the execution here, and we have the closing. That was agreed at the very beginning when they said, let's agree to catch up at the end to see if we improved or not. So this is why they've improved their processes by catching up during the closure of the project. So what we have here, it's phases. So we have outline, if you like, 4 phases: initiation, planning, execution, and closing. And what we have on the left-hand side of this diagram is activities. And we have, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 activities. So some of those activities are just approvals. So say they are actually an important step, so they are there. So that takes you from an idea to a project to the benefits of the project. Or it could be a need, something that absolutely has to do. You know, we don't really want to have this policy implemented, but we are being asked to have this implemented, so it's a need. But we still go through this process anyway of assessing and project and benefits. So that's it. That's my take on project management. You can see why there is these different types of phases. By catching up after the project, you can do your next project better. The execution, it's all go, go, go. The planning is, you know, to give you a more precise idea of what the project will be like. And initiation is really to, you know, do we even want to do this? But we will review all this. I just thought I wanted to link back that story with the next, with part 1, which is really when we start to go into more detail on this. So that's it. Let's move on to the next part of the course.